अब देखो इसमें ये हॉरिजॉन्टल वाला फोर्स, you'll be surprised to see how simple this really is. I mean, once you get what is to be done, it's just a few lines and you have the answer. Okay, very beautiful solution. So for the horizontal force, the idea is यहाँ पे जो पानी है, यहाँ पे जो पानी है, ये पानी पे वॉल F1 फोर्स लगाएगा मान लो, और ये वॉल पे F1 फोर्स लगाएगा. एक्शन रिएक्शन. डू यू एग्री विद दैट? न्यूटन्स थर्ड लॉ. Wall pushes the water towards the right, the water pushes the wall towards the left. Action reaction के कारण. And we also know what F1 is. What is F1? We'll get into that, but we know कि है ना, it's average pressure into area. We've gone over that. P average into area. That is F1. That's what we in a way ended last class with. Average pressure. Average pressure मतलब ये है ना, the middle पे, not at the bottom, not at the top, at the middle जो pressure होगा, that into area. So maybe for our question, what will this look like? Okay, so there's no atmospheric pressure, so then we are starting with 0. We are going down by h by 2. So my average pressure is rho L G h by 2, right? Rho L G h by 2. That's my average pressure. Pressure not at the top, not at the bottom, but exactly in the middle. Rho L G h by 2. What is my area? So my height is R, and the width of the wall, if you go inward, the width of the wall is W. So area is R by W. And yes, I'm sorry, height means R by 2. Height is R. Yeah, sorry. Height is R. So on that note, my average pressure becomes rho L G, height by 2, and height was R. So it becomes R by 2. Rho L G R by 2. And my area becomes height into width. So width was W, height is R. So my area becomes RW. Okay. So everyone knows what F1 is, no doubt. In F1, yeah? We want to know F2. Well, let's call this FH. We want to know the horizontal force that this applies on the quarter cylinder. That's the question. Find the horizontal force water applies on the quarter cylinder. Can I say by Newton's third law, the water cylinder applies the same force on water towards the left? The quarter cylinder, I wonder if I said water cylinder. The quarter cylinder applies the same force on the water towards the left. Agreed? On the liquid towards the left. Okay. One of you is asking, what is W? W is the width. ये wall का width W दिया था अंदर के तरफ. This is like a cuboid, no? The width, the wall का area becomes RW. This is the front view. So let me just see what you guys are saying. नहीं, हाँ, तो एक चीज देखो, ये हमने जो यहाँ पे जो किया, you can't expect to do that for the cylinder. Okay, because our derivation did not involve a cylinder. When we found key force is pressure, average pressure into area, that was for a straight wall. You cannot expect to do that for a cylinder. Okay, you cannot expect to do that for the cylinder. Cylinder की case में है ना, the surface itself is different, the area is different, then force into area has different directions. तो theoretically horizontal force निकालने जाओगे तो तुम्हें component ले लेके integrate करना है. But notice this, right now I'm just saying कि जो हमें निकालना है that is FH, और मैंने बस FH is the horizontal force that water applies on the cylinder, and the cylinder as the response applies the same force on water. Okay, what is the next step? FH निकालना है, F1 पता है. Come on, the answer is almost in front of us. The answer is almost in front of us. What is FH? Balance, very nice. F1 is equal to FH. क्या सही है ये, है ना? By the liquid's horizontal equilibrium. Liquid left right थोड़ी जा रहा है, मतलब उस पे लेफ्ट की तरफ फोर्स और राइट की तरफ फोर्स बराबर होना चाहिए. That's it. F1 पता है, we know what force the liquid applies on the wall. FH and F1 should be equal. जितना the liquid is being pushed towards the left, उतना ही it's being pushed towards the right. So FH should be equal to F1. That means FH should be this. FH must be this. Rho Lg R square W by 2. This is your horizontal force. Rho Lg R square W by 2. कितना सिंपल हो गया. जितना वॉल पे फोर्स लगता है उतना ही ये सिलेंडर पे लगता है. Because net force on my liquid has to be 0. Liquid is neither moving towards the left nor the right. तो जितना लिक्विड पे यहाँ से फोर्स लग रहा है उतना ही लिक्विड पे वहां से फोर्स लग रहा है. मतलब अब न्यूटन थर्ड लॉ से बोलो, जितना लिक्विड ये वॉल पे लगाता है उतना ही लिक्विड ये क्वार्टर सिलेंडर पे लगाता है. वेरी सिंपल. उतना ही ये लिक्विड क्वार्टर सिलेंडर पे लगाता है. Got this? Was this the answer you guys got at home? Anyone got this at home? Without any integration? No? Okay. Just remember this, okay? If they ever try to give you a weird shape, ऐसा कुछ भी ऐसा डाल दिया, and they're trying to they're asking you to find the horizontal force, don't get scared by the weirdness of that shape. Okay, got it? Not sure. Very nice if you got it, but I hope you're sure now. Now, don't be scared by the weirdness of the shape. You can actually prove by a series of arguments कि जो wall पे liquid लगाएगा वो ये इस पे horizontally लगाएगा. ठीक है? Here we did not even incorporate the fact that this is a quarter cylinder. This could have any weird surface as well. A series of arguments you can prove these horizontal forces are the same. So remember this. Okay? You can save a lot of time. The other thing is also quite easy. So the other one is, what is the vertical force? ये हो सकता है you may have realized. What is the vertical force that the liquid applies? I'll stay on this page only, don't worry. Copy कर लो. I'm not changing the page. Vertical force that the liquid applies. Do we know it by another name? That's buoyancy. So the net vertical force applied by a liquid is your force of buoyancy. And what is your force of buoyancy? Density of liquid into volume submerged into G. Okay, now what is volume submerged? Cylinder का volume, वो कर सकते easily. So rho L, है ना? Pi r square would have been the area of the circle. Pi r square by 4 कर लो तो quarter circle का area मिल गया. That into the length. So as you can see, I mean, this cylinder actually extends into the plane. So the length or the height of the cylinder along the axis is W. W is that length of the cylinder. Front view a quarter circle है, अंदर की तरफ it extends by a distance W. So pi r square by 4 into height. Height is W. That becomes your volume, and this becomes G. Hopefully ये आया था. This is the vertical force on that liquid. Very nice. और ये दोनों आके, then you can also, of course, you have your net force. इनका अगर net force पूछा था उन्होंने तो तुम ऐसा Pythagoras लगा के net force भी निकाल सकते हो. Remember, any question like this, there's no need for integration. The simple series of arguments, Newton's third law, first law लगा के you can find the horizontal force, and the vertical force is simply going to be your buoyant force. Copy this. One of you is asking me, sir, can we generalize that in a vessel containing a liquid with multiple walls of different shapes, FH will be the same for all? Yes, you can. Huh? So iska, what this guy is saying is, what Yash is saying is, if your liquid has यहाँ पे एक अजीब सा वॉल बनाया है ना, ऐसा क्वेश्चन आया, ऐसा क्वेश्चन आया, अजीब सा वॉल है, ठीक है, and they're asking me what force does this apply on the wall. Don't sit and think यार कैसे pressure into area को integrate करेंगे. क्या आंसर है? जितना इस पे लगाएगा उतना उस पे लगाएगा, इक्विलिब्रियम के कारण, इक्विलिब्रियम के कारण जितना लेफ्ट की तरफ लगाएगा उतना राइट की तरफ लगाएगा. लेफ्ट की तरफ कितना लगाता है, स्ट्रेट वॉल पे कितना लगाता है, वी नो दैट. ठीक है, ऑलराइट. One of these things, sir, while deriving buoyant force, we concluded that the net force acting on a stationary particle is buoyant force. So the net horizontal plus vertical force. नहीं, अरे एक problem है, जैसे क्या है ना, your net force will be your buoyant force, provided it's completely surrounded. Okay. Normally, when you put an object inside water, it has water on both sides. All right. So the horizontal forces cancel out. You place an object inside water. Like let's take this weird object, जो यहाँ पे almost बन गया है ना. इसको जब तुम पानी के अंदर डालोगे, इस पे net buoyant force upward ही आएगा because the horizontal forces normally cancel out. But if I am not going to focus on this and I'm more concerned with the horizontal force one side, the liquid on one side applies. All right, so I can't look at my net buoyant force because my net buoyant force is only going to give me the vertical one. Because buoyant force निकालते हुए horizontal वाला कट जाता है. If I want this horizontal one, you'll have to consider this kind of, you'll have to consider this equilibrium to realize कि जो ये wall पे लगाता था उतना ही ये इस पे लगाएगा. All right. Okay. Let me know if you're done with this page. One of you is asking me what we'll do today, so we'll see what we're going to do today. We're going to start with flowing liquids. Okay, so that is what we're going to do. And one of you is asking वो flowing liquid मतलब आगे viscosity आएगा क्या, तो viscosity exactly इसमें नहीं आएगा, but like almost we are going to club one other small chapter with fluid mechanics, and that chapter is called as properties of fluid. And that comes from a different chapter in your HCV called as properties of matter. तो उसका properties of matter के अंदर properties of solid होता है, properties of liquid होता है. तो properties of liquid वाला part PACE normally clubs with fluid mechanics. That will have viscosity and surface tension and all that kind of stuff. So that is something we're going to do after flowing liquid, after fluid mechanics is done. So don't worry यार, वो आगे की बात है, वो दिख जाएगा. ये हो गया क्या? One of you is talking about density of a mixture कैसे निकालेंगे. We can talk about that. It's quite logical. Density of a mixture. तो मतलब उसका कहना है कि if I have Ayush, I can, but let's if you can just stay back a little bit after class, I can explain that. Okay? We want to move on, so I'll explain that towards the end of class. Density of a mixture, मतलब if you're saying कि there is rho 1 V1 है ना, V1 volume of a liquid with density rho 1, V2 volume of a liquid with density rho 2, and so on, है ना. Then the basic idea is density is total mass by total volume. So of course total mass will be rho v. Yeah, total mass will be rho v का सम है ना, सबका मास ऐड कर लो तो रो वन वी वन प्लस रो टू वी टू, ऐसा सबका मास ऐड कर लो एंड टोटल वॉल्यूम विल बी वी वन प्लस वी टू ऑफ कोर्स. So if they give you multiple liquids इनको मिक्स किया है बहुत इजीली डेंसिटी ऑफ द मिक्सचर आएगा, वही सेंटर मास टाइप फॉर्मूला ही है. This is just one note. Somebody asked me density of a mixture, so you can maybe just note this down. KTG में हमने ये CB के लिए बोला था, यहाँ पे डेंसिटी के लिए देखना. Let me know when you're done with this. No, Deven, no. In the previous question, why did we ignore PATM? वो actually मतलब जैसे it spoils the beauty of the question, but you can think अगर PATM होता है ना, तो यहाँ पे PATM into area का भी force होता, तो फिर हम बोलेंगे कि net upward force is buoyant force. So instead of just saying FV equal to B, then we would have said FV minus PATM area is equal to B. So you can do that as well. But I mean, the main beauty of the question was in this first part. But yeah, if PATM would have been there, this would have been FV minus PATM area. Net upward force due to the surrounding liquid is buoyant force. So FV minus PATM area would have been equal to buoyant force. That would have been one change. And the other change, of course, would have been in this term. ये जो हमने pressure लिखा है ना, this would have been PATM plus rho GH. So you can make those adjustments if PATM would have been there. यहाँ पे हाँ, PATM into area ऊपर से डाउनवर्ड डायरेक्शन में ही लगता था. And FV is the force by water. So FV नीचे से ऊपर लग रहा है और एटमॉस्फेयर के कारण PATM into area लग रहा है. तो फिर नेट अपवर्ड फोर्स सिर्फ पानी का फोर्स ये था, ये भी नहीं था कि है ना फुल मिलके एयर और पानी मिला के वर्टिकल फोर्स निकालो. द वे द क्वेश्चन वाज फ्रेम्ड वाज पानी का वर्टिकल फोर्स निकालो, तो फिर उसको एक अलग नाम देना था FV. एटमॉस्फेयर का नीचे की तरफ लग रहा है, उनका रिजल्टेंट इज बुओयंट फोर्स. So if you understand 37, you can of course, if that question comes, you can make those adjustments. Area wala अगर atmospheric pressure है to make those adjustments. Maybe I'll add one more thing on this page, and that is the term gauge pressure. Okay, sometimes you may see this in the question. The gauge pressure is actually pressure minus atmospheric pressure. वो है उसका definition. Gauge pressure is P minus PATM. Okay, so P minus PATM मतलब it is rho g h. This is gauge pressure. This is gauge pressure. Okay, P minus PATM. So normally है ना, if I say there is a point which is 10 meters below the surface, तो उसका gauge pressure is, उसका gauge pressure will be है ना just 1000 G into H, just rho G into 10, just rho G into 10. If there's a point H meters below the surface, then gauge pressure is simply going to be rho GH. मतलब वो PATM हटा के जो बचा हुआ चीज है, that's gauge pressure. So is the pressure above PATM. Is the pressure above and beyond PATM. Just remember that. Kabhi aisa you see this term, you should know what it is. Yeah, pressure excluding PATM. Pressure minus PATM. That's gauge pressure. Okay, let me know when you're done. Yes, gauge pressure is this P minus PATM. तुम P को लिखते थे ना PATM plus rho GH. Pressure H distance below the surface तुम बोलते थे PATM plus rho GH है, उससे PATM subtract करो. तो PATM जब subtract करोगे तो rho GH रह जाएगा. That is gauge pressure. PATM के अलावा जो चीज है that is gauge pressure. One of you saying PATM का units ATM होना चाहिए, कुछ ऐसा कुछ नहीं. PATM is a term. PATM means atmospheric pressure. Okay, it can be in any of the pressures units. It can be in millimeter mercury, it can be in ATM, it can be in Pascal. कुछ भी हो सकता है. Pressure ultimately. Okay. Done with that page. यहाँ पे एक last time समझा रहा हूँ. Somebody asked again, क्या इस इधर yes rho GH is the value of gauge pressure. इसके जो नीचे लिखा है that is gauge pressure. P minus PATM or rho GH. That is your gauge pressure. Okay. And PATM is not specifically ATM. It can be written in pascals. It's 10 raised to 5 pascals. That's what we have been using. Working in SI units, take it as 10 raised to 5 pascals. Okay. यहाँ पे मैंने क्या बोला? I had said ignore atmospheric pressure. मैंने बस इतना बोला कि atmospheric pressure अगर include करोगे तो दो चीज change होगा. एक तो ये तो तुम्हें पता है कि pressure average pressure निकालते वक्त rho GH के जगह तुम PATM plus rho GH लिखते थे, है ना? So that would have been one change if atmospheric pressure would have been there. But then the second change is actually this ki I have asked you, if you look at the question, I have asked you net vertical force by water. Okay, so if atmospheric pressure is there, you should realize that the net vertical force by water is not buoyant force. On the other hand, water applies some vertical force, the air applies some vertical force. इनका net vertical force है buoyant force, है ना? इनका net vertical force, the net vertical force by all the surrounding fluids, that is your buoyant force. So if atmospheric pressure had been there, then I could not have said कि FV is equal to P, but I would have had to say कि FV minus यहाँ का P into area, FV minus PATM into area, that is equal to B. Net upward force is equal to B. पानी का force minus air का नीचे की तरफ force, that is equal to B. वो मुझे फिर लिखना पड़ता. Okay? Okay? But I mean, that's in a way taking away the beauty of the question. So, यहाँ तक, this was a nice question. This was one of the points I was trying to drive in. All right. 1 second. Okay, so Ayush has posted, I think, one question on the group. That's actually a nice question. Let's have a look at that. So the question is, find the expression for pressure at a distance r from the axis. So नहीं question as a theory इसको मैं समझाऊंगा. So let's call this pressure in a rotating bucket. In fact, I'll just call this rotating bucket. There is a few more things that we will see in this rotating bucket. तो इसमें क्या हो जाएगा, लेट्स से आई एम रोटेटिंग अ पर्टिकुलर लिक्विड, आई एम रोटेटिंग अ पर्टिकुलर बकेट विद एन एंगुलर वेलोसिटी ओमेगा, ओके, एंड नाउ वी नो कि जैसे हम कभी तुमने, यस यस प्लीज नोट दिस डाउन, प्लीज नोट दिस डाउन, मैं थोड़ा बकेट को नहीं ऐसे रखूंगा, okay? So as I'm rotating this with some angular velocity omega, you might have maybe not rotated the bucket, but you can imagine कि some kind of vortex will get created ऐसा, हाँ, ऐसा कुछ, वो the surface of your liquid is going to look somewhat like this, right? Now what you can do in this is, imagine कि this is our x-axis, okay, जहाँ पे भी ये नीचे lowest point आ रहा है उसको origin ले रहा हूँ, imagine that's my x-axis and this is my y-axis, okay. Now I'm going to take some random point over here. मुझे I'm interested in what this curve is, okay. Question छोड़ो, तुम question, you can look at that question in the group after class, but I'm going to teach you the background theory for that question, so just focus on this, okay. There's nothing you need from the group, whatever you need is in front of you, इस पे ध्यान दो. I'm rotating a bucket, simple सी बात है, और बकेट घूमता है तो बकेट का पानी का सरफेस ऐसा दिखता है, and we want to know the mathematical curve that this water surface takes. What is this curve? क्या है ये इक्वेशन? बकेट रोटेट हो रहा है, बकेट रोटेट हो रहा है, बकेट के साथ साथ पानी भी रोटेट हो रहा है, बकेट और पानी दोनों रोटेट हो रहे हैं, एवरीथिंग इज रोटेटिंग विद एन एंगुलर वेलोसिटी ओमेगा, बकेट के साथ साथ पानी भी घूम रहा है, एंड ऐसा एक वोर्टेक्स जैसा क्रिएट हो गया, शेप क्रिएट हो गया, और इसका हमें इक्वेशन चाहिए, मैथमेटिकल इक्वेशन, is it y equal to x square or is something else, वो देखना है, okay. So what we're going to do is, it'll be a, let's see if it's a parabola, ऐसा guess नहीं करेंगे ना, देखेंगे है क्या parabola है क्या दिखता है. So let's say this point's coordinates is x comma y, the point's coordinates is x comma y. Now एक ध्यान हो, तुम guess करोगे उसमें मजा नहीं है, let's see quadratic होगा या नहीं होगा, let's see, okay. So now if you look at this point, है ना, इसका FBD देख लो, I mean इस पे क्या forces लग रहा है वो देख लो, and specifically इस पे G effective देख लो. Let's find G effective for this point. So when I try to draw G effective for this point, G effective, I'm going to draw G, acceleration due to gravity, G. I'm also going to draw my pseudo force wala acceleration, which is going to be what? Omega square into radius, है ना? In this case, my centrifugal force is my pseudo force. So omega square into radius. What is my radius? My x coordinate is my radius. So omega square x. This gives me the direction of G effective. This gives me the direction of G effective. Okay. यहाँ पे, let's say this angle is theta. Okay. Let's say this angle is theta. अब कोई बोल रहा है pseudo force should be in the left hand side. नहीं यार, come on. तुम घुमा, तुम rotating frame में बैठोगे, है ना, so you will experience a force away from the center. Right? You take a sharp turn towards the left, you feel thrown towards the right. Your centrifugal force is going to be away from the center. Fugal means away from the center. Okay, so you're going to experience a force to this is going to experience a force towards the right. What do we know from something we've studied before? We know a couple of things. We know first of all कि tan theta is a by g. ये याद है? Tan theta is a by g. है? Surface जो angle बना था horizontal के साथ, that's a by g. So in this case, tan theta is omega square x by g. ये एक चीज है. दूसरा चीज हमें थोड़ा मैथ्स आता है ना? I hope है ना? तो मैथ से क्या पता है? मैथ से पता है कि m is tan theta. Right. है ना? Slope of a curve at any point is tan theta. In other words, the current slope is tan theta. The slope of this curve at this instant is tan theta. dy by dx is tan theta. dy by dx is tan theta. Derivative at this instant is going to give me the slope of the curve. So dy by dx is tan theta. ये आता है ना, slope is tan theta, dy by dx is tan theta. Yes. Devin, most likely, huh? एक minute. Let's see. So dy by dx is tan theta. So let's put the two together. As we put the two together, we get dy by dx is omega square x by g. Dy by dx is tan theta. Dy by dx is omega square x by g. What will our next step be? Our next step will be to simply separate the variables. So as you can see, this is a very simple derivation. Separate the variables and yes, integrate. So I've separated the variables. ये हो गया g dy. वहां पे हो गया ओमेगा स्क्वायर x dx. g dy यहाँ पे हो गया ओमेगा स्क्वायर x dx. ठीक है. And as I integrate both sides, I'm going to integrate them from, so let's say I'm starting from my origin. So when y is 0, x is 0. Why do we integrate? Because we are not happy with an equation having dy. उससे क्या समझ में आ रहा है? ज़्यादा कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा. मुझे curve का equation चाहिए. So I'm going to integrate. If I have an equation that is true, I can integrate both sides and it will still be true. Okay, so I'm going to integrate to get something more meaningful out of this. So I'm going to integrate from 0. दोनों side पे x and y 0 है ना? That's one point. And then the other point is x comma y. So general y, general x. ठीक है? From 0 comma 0 to x comma y, general y, general x. तो ये जब integrate करेंगे, what are we going to get? So this left hand side is going to become gy and my right hand side is going to become omega square x square by 2. So yes, if you look at this curve, your curve that you see is a parabola. It is a quadratic equation, and y varies with x according to this equation, omega square x square by 2g. Omega square x square by 2g. Okay, so this is what your surface looks like. This is what your surface looks like. Okay. Easy a derivation. Yes, Devin, yes. Okay. And with respect to finding the pressure at any point inside this, so to be honest, this is something we have in a way already seen, you know. So yeah, to find the pressure at any internal point, what you can do is you can combine the two results we have seen before. If you remember, rotating के लिए हमने ऐसा result देखा था, rho omega. I'll have to check the rho omega square है क्या या नहीं है? But r square, r final square, r2 square minus r1 square ऐसा कुछ है by 2. Yeah, I'll just check the rho omega r2 square minus r1 square by 2. That is your that's how your pressure changes in a rotating tube, if you remember. You know? So to answer key what could be the pressure at some random point over here, you can do two things. You can either if they are giving you distance from this point, you can just do PATM plus rho GH. Okay? Or if they are giving you distance from here, तो यहाँ से यहाँ PATM plus rho GH कर सकते हो, और यहाँ से यहाँ you can add rho omega r square by 2. जो तुमने वो ट्यूब वाला रिजल्ट देखा ना, रोटेटिंग ट्यूब वाला, you can add that result. तो यहाँ का प्रेशर तुम निकाल सकते हो PATM plus rho GH, and then you can add plus rho omega r square by 2. So you can find the pressure at any point, especially if they give you distance from the surface, तो तुम फिर directly भी कर सकते हो. Okay. So another question on the group is, what is the equation for pressure at distance from the axis? It is actually whatever would be the pressure at the axis plus rho omega r square by 2. And the proof for that would be similar to what we did for the rotating tube. But this is how your surface looks like. This is how your surface looks like. Okay. Any doubts in this? Let me know if you're done copying this. This shape is actually called a paraboloid. Yeah, this shape is called a paraboloid. Yeah, I'll give you time. The surface is called a paraboloid. So parabola तो सामने से दिखता है. I hope you realize this is not just a curve. This is not just a line like this. This is not just a parabola. You're rotating this along the z-axis. है ना? So जैसा सर्कल सामने से लाइन दिखेगा, बट उसको पूरा घुमा के एक मस्त सर्कल बनेगा. वैसा ही पैराबोला को जब घुमाओगे, पैराबोला को घुमाओगे तो एक बोल शेप बनेगा. Which you, if you can't imagine that, please after class put your hand inside a bucket and start rotating your hand. You'll see what that shape looks like. Okay? So a bowl shaped surface banega. That bowl shaped surface is called a paraboloid. Paraboloid means parabola को अपने axis के about घुमाया तो जो shape बनेगा, I can't draw it. That's a paraboloid. Okay? Got it? Hemisphere जैसा दिखेगा, बस अलग बात है कि hemisphere is when you rotate a semicircle. When you rotate a parabola, you get a paraboloid. Okay? And कोई बोल रहा है सर ओमेगा को चेंज करके will this become a hyperbola? No, right? No matter what I do to omega, the equation is going to be x square. So it's always going to be a parabola curve. It's never going to become anything else. Omega change करोगे तो curve का steepness change हो सकता है. Can be more flat or more steep, but it will always be a parabola. All right, done. जल्दी कर लो. How to get pressure at x comma 0. How to get pressure at x comma 0. So x comma 0 seems to be over here, right? To get pressure over there, just do P ATM plus rho GH. यहाँ का प्रेशर के लिए P ATM plus rho GH कर लो. तुम मतलब ये प्रूफ को ऐसा भी कर सकते थे तुम, है ना? Alternate proof would be you could write the pressure at this point as P ATM plus rho G Y, and you can also write the pressure at this point as P ATM plus, है ना? If you go back through the notes, you will see कि we have written pressure for a rotating tube of water. So यहाँ का pressure is P ATM plus rho omega R square by 2. तो बाहर का रेडियस का स्क्वायर बाय 2 माइनस अंदर का रेडियस का स्क्वायर बाय 2. अंदर का रेडियस का स्क्वायर है 0 स्क्वायर. ठीक है, तो यहां से तुमने अगर लिखा तो भी सेम आंसर आ रहा है. देखो, कैन यू कंपेयर कि इसका प्रेशर, देखो इसका प्रेशर दो तरीके से लिखा है. एक लिखा P ATM प्लस रो जी वाई, दूसरा लिखा P ATM प्लस रो ओमेगा एक्स स्क्वायर बाय 2. उसी से P ATM काट दो, ये रिजल्ट आएगा. So one of you was saying, can I do this from some other frame? So it's not necessarily another frame, but it's another method. इससे भी वही रिजल्ट आ रहा है. Yes, the equation will always be true, whichever frame you look at it from. But ultimately, the idea is to make our work easy. So if you remember the rotation wala result, you can use this. Rotating tube ka result yaad hai, you can use this to quickly derive the answer. Got it? Tanmay, this is the statement I told. I said नीचे जाते वक्त प्रेशर रो जी वाई से बढ़ता है, अंदर से बाहर जाते वक्त प्रेशर वो रोटेटिंग ट्यूब की तरह चेंज होता है। और यहाँ पे मैंने दिखाया कि तुम वो भी यूज करके तुम ये इक्वेशन डिराइव कर सकते हो। Okay, and yeah, I think let me check. I think this omega, should it be omega square? एक बार देख लेते हैं rotating tube कहाँ पे था। It should be omega square. Yes, thanks for correcting. It should be omega square. हाँ, ये रिजल्ट अगर वो रोटेटिंग वाला रिजल्ट याद है तो फिर जल्दी हो जाएगा, याद नहीं है तो भी थोड़ा ऐसा इंटीग्रेट करके डिराइव कर सकते हो। ऑलराइट, cool. One of you saying what if the bucket is also doing translation motion? वह बहुत गंदा हो जाएगा यार, they'll not give you a question like that. Yeah, paraboloid as such, I mean, that's already quite complex. They're not going to move the bucket as well. Don't worry, it's going to become a very weird curve. They'll not move the bucket as well. Okay? All right. इसमें paraboloid का एक important property है, and I'm not going to prove this. एक मिनट, let's just ये होने के बाद I'll maybe show that again. Paraboloid का important property है. I'm not going to prove this. You want, I can prove it in your doubt lecture. I don't want to take too much time. This is now maths. But what the result is, I'm just going to ask you to memorize that. Okay? Those who are interested, you can see this proof maybe in tomorrow's doubt session. The idea is कि जब तुम parabola, जब तुम इसको घुमाओगे ना, है ना, तो हमें क्या पता है, जैसे हमें पता है कि volume has to be conserved. तो because I know volume has to be conserved, I know कि ये जो पानी का surface है वो है ना, यहाँ पे थोड़ा नीचे जाएगा, वहां पे थोड़ा ऊपर आएगा. As I create this cycloid, है ना, ऐसा कुछ surface बनेगा कि मतलब यहाँ पे ये नीचे जा रहा है और वहां पे rise हो रहा है. Okay, now the interesting thing which you can actually prove via integration is कि ये जितना नीचे जाता है उतना ये ऊपर जाता है, जितना नीचे जाता है उतना वो वहां से ऊपर जाता है. That is the interesting thing. Okay, so when I start rotating this, ठीक है, वॉल्यूम कंजर्वेशन, यू कैन इमेजिन कि यार यहाँ पे है ना, यहाँ का वॉल्यूम को उठा के अब साइड में डालना है. So I'm expecting the water level over here to go below the original level and the water level on the sides to rise. We don't know by what amounts, but the interesting result that you can prove via integration is this fact कि जितना यहाँ पे बीच में the water level falls, उतना ही on the extremities the water level rises. That is the interesting property. Fall in water level at the center during this rotation process, fall in water level at the center is rise in water level, the water level, short in the water level at the extremities. Okay? So fall in the water level at the center is equal to the rise in the water level at the extremities. Okay? That's one useful property to remember. You're interested, we'll try proving via integration. I'm not fully sure if you guys know enough integration yet in maths for me to do that. But Philal, just believe in this, okay? Just believe in this. maybe बाद में with after a little maths you can integrate that and also prove it. Okay, so that's your result. So इससे एक example कर ले, ठीक है? So I am giving you a tub containing, let's say the height of the tub is h, okay, and radius is r, and I have filled water to a height of 2h by 3, ठीक है, and इसको मैंने घुमाना स्टार्ट किया है with an angular velocity. My question is find omega for the water to spill. Find minimum omega for the water to spill. Rho वगैरह दिया है, of course rho दिया है. Find minimum omega for the liquid to spill. You have to, in a way, use the property that I've just mentioned, है ना? मतलब ये ध्यान दो कि पानी बस यहाँ से साइड से राइज नहीं कर रहा है, वो नीचे से गिर भी रहा है. Just bear that in mind. And then finally, the result we have seen on the previous page is, I mean, I don't remember this. I always derive y is omega square x square by 2g. Okay, that's your formula. Y is omega square x square by 2g. Try कर लो, come on. Simple है ना, actually ज़्यादा डरना नहीं है. थोड़ा लॉजिकल विजुअलाइजेशन वगैरह करो, सिंपल है. Prithvi, check that again. Your answer seems like the water surface is only this much, is like this. Now that's not true. The water surface cannot look like that. घुमाओगे तो है ना ऐसा दिखेगा. Center में it has to fall. Ayush, Sanika, again, both your answers are एक मिनट. Ayush, Sanika, Harsh, all your answers, I think you've, again, you're somehow, this is my suggestion, you're taking a surface like this. तुमने स्पिल करते वक्त ये इतना ध्यान किया कि पानी वहां आ रहा है, पर बीच में पानी कहाँ पे है वो नहीं तुम देख रहे हो. इसलिए जब तुम इसका y कोऑर्डिनेट लिखोगे इस ओरिजिन के रिस्पेक्ट में, तुम गलत लिख रहे हो. You're actually finding the y coordinate as height above the original level. Y coordinate is what? If you remember what our origin looks like, y coordinate is height above this lowest point. प्रत्याशा सही है, very nice. कुशल, तेरा भी वही है. अगेन जस्ट द करेक्शन, ये प्रॉपर्टी यूज नहीं कर रहा है तो ये निकाल रहा है. तुम डाल रहे हो, तुम सीधा फॉर्मूला यूज कर रहे हो. माय ओनली थिंग इज वॉच आउट, y coordinate is not height above this level. Y coordinate is actually what was our origin in the parabola? Our origin was the bottom. And please note, my bottom has gone down. यहाँ पे है, so y coordinate has to be height above the bottom. ये थोड़ा property use करके आ जाएगा. When I write it, you'll see. Okay? Yes, Parth. Yes. Yes, Niranjani and Harsh. सही है. And then use yes, Parth. Yes. अब मैं थोड़ा चेक कर ले, शायद एक एक्स्ट्रा 2 आया तेरे आंसर में और रूट भी लेना था. ऋग्वेद सही है. Anyone completely waiting room? Okay. Anyone completely lost? Okay. Okay. बता दो सोल्यूशन. ठीक है, मुश्किल नहीं है. देखो क्या है इसमें, बस इतना है. ये तो देख लिया ना. y is omega square x square by 2g. I use that's right. Okay. The solution is quite simple. क्या है इसमें, we had our bucket filled till the height of 2h by 3. Okay. Now I want you to find the omega needed for water to spill. So what is your next step going to be? You are going to make water spill. So you're going to create a kind of vortex like this. Why have I drawn this edge over here? I've drawn that edge over there because water is spilling. So for it to spill, it has to reach the edge. So मैंने क्या किया, मैंने on the sides पानी का level कितने से बढ़ाया? ओवरऑल हाइट h था, तो मैंने ऑन द साइड्स पानी का लेवल h/3 से बढ़ाया. अब साइड पे हाइट h/3 से बढ़ाया, तो यहाँ पे पानी का लेवल कितने से गिरेगा? What have I just taught? What is this magic property for parabola which we just going to blindly believe, है ना? जितना ऊपर जाता है उतना नीचे जाता है. तो यहाँ पे ये नीचे h/3 से गिरेगा. ठीक है. Now with that, okay, with that, just remember that property, जितना ऊपर जाता है उतना नीचे जाता है. With that, now we'll draw our y-axis. Okay, so there is no point remembering a form, remembering a curve ka equation if you don't remember your axis, or if you don't know where the origin is. So whatever equation we derived, you can see I don't remember. Y is gx, क्या? Omega square x square by 2g. ये जो equation है, y is omega square x square by 2g. You memorize that. Please also remember what the origin is. So our origin is this point. अब उसके रिस्पेक्ट में और कौन, ये तो ओरिजिन है, और कौन सा पॉइंट पता है? अब ये पॉइंट भी पता है. वो पॉइंट का कोऑर्डिनेट्स क्या होगा अगर थोड़ा ध्यान से देखोगे? r is the x coordinate, comma y coordinate is 2h/3. Yes, the bottom of the vortex is the origin. That's what we had assumed while deriving. So the bottom of the vortex is the origin. So ये point का coordinate becomes r, 2h/3. Some of you were taking h/3. So that was missing the fact कि यहाँ पे पानी नीचे जा रहा है. पानी नीचे जाएगा तो इसका coordinate 2h/3 होगा. If this is what you did, you should get the right answer. अब substitute in this. ओमेगा चाहिए, y coordinate, x coordinate पता है ना? तो substitute कर लो. Y coordinate is 2h/3 omega square by 2g and x coordinate is r. This should give you the answer. Khatam. So omega square is 4gh by 3r square. It's the root ले लो. Okay? This is your answer. Whatever. You forgot about the 2. Yes. All right. Cool. Got this understood? है ना? मुश्किल नहीं है. Just remember ये remember या at least learn to derive this. And the second thing is remember this fact कि again how is y h 2h by 3, यहाँ पे ये जितना नीचे जाता है उतना ये ऊपर जाता है, जितना बॉटम नीचे जाता है उतना साइड्स ऊपर जाता है. साइड ऊपर गया h by 3 से तो बॉटम, हाँ बॉटम भी नीचे गया h by 3 से. Cool. So now we understand that bottom नीचे गया h by 3 से, साइड ऊपर गया h by 3 से. ओरिजिन ले रहे बॉटम ऑफ द वोर्टेक्स को, तो ओरिजिन के रिस्पेक्ट में ये पॉइंट becomes, I mean that point's y coordinate becomes 2h by 3. That point's x coordinate becomes r. So in this equation we'll substitute that y and x. वो point क्यों? Because बाकी point का कुछ पता नहीं, ये point का दिख रहा है तो वो substitute करके आंसर मिलेगा. Some of you are asking, do we need to substitute g? You don't need to, या डाल दो नहीं डाल दो एक ही बात है, क्या फर्क पड़ेगा. ऐसा नहीं है कि जी तुमने लिखा अपने नोट्स में, सामने ऑप्शन में 10 दिख रहा है और तुम वो टिक नहीं करोगे, या तुमने अपने नोट्स में 10 लिखा, सामने ऑप्शन जी दिख रहा है, टिक नहीं करोगे. Makes no difference. You've reached this, you've solved the question. Then you look at the options and see what the options are asking basically. जी डाल दिया, 10 डाल दिया, दोनों ही सही है. Alright, done with this page. जिसने नो बोला है जल्दी लिखो और फिर डन बोल दो जब हो गया. ठीक है. गाइस प्लीज रिमेंबर दैट प्रॉपर्टी, जितना नीचे गया उतना ऊपर जाएगा, वो याद कर लो. वो तुम एग्जाम में डिराइव ऑनेस्टली नहीं कर पाओगे, ये कर लोगे है ना. ये तुमने, जैसे मैं भी खुद याद नहीं करता हूँ, ये तुम कर सकते हो, थोड़ा प्रैक्टिस कर लो. बी कॉन्फिडेंट इन योर इंटीग्रेशन, यू कैन डू दिस. बट दैट प्रॉपर्टी, नीचे जितना जाता है ऊपर जितना जाता है, दैट you cannot derive in the exam. Please remember that. Okay? Just remember that. And थोड़ा ऐसा logical भी लगता है. I mean, okay? Just remember that. It's a nice coincidence कि जितना नीचे जाता है उतना ऊपर आता है. Okay. Done. हाँ. Yes, the property is based on volume conservation. Yes, this volume has disappeared from here and this volume has gone over there. So the property is based on volume conservation. है ना. यहाँ पे जितना वॉल्यूम कम हुआ उतना वॉल्यूम साइड में आया. There should not have been some direct correlation with height. It's just when you integrate and prove everything, coincidentally it comes out कि जितना height नीचे गया उतना height ऊपर गया. So that's an interesting result, and that makes our life simple. Just remember that result. Okay. All right. So now we're going to see the second section of fluid mechanics, which we're going to call as fluid dynamics. Okay. So fluid dynamics is the new heading. Now we're going to deal with flowing liquid. Okay, we're going to deal with flowing liquid. So this is the study of flowing fluid. The study of flowing fluid. इसके पहले क्या था? इसके मैकेनिक्स खत्म नहीं हुआ भाई, मतलब fluid statics खत्म हुआ है. Fluid statics was when, है ना, you had liquid in a container, liquid which is not flowing. Container must have been moving here and there, spinning around, dancing, but the liquid was not flowing like it is flowing through a pipe. In this section, we are going to look at flowing liquid as though it's flowing through a pipe. Okay, so understand the demarcation. जो भी हमने लिखा है PATM plus rho GH, that was true for statics. That's not necessarily going to be true over here. Okay, PATM plus rho GH is not necessarily going to be true over here. एक before proceeding एक just एक example दूंगा. जैसे कि है ना, imagine this is a tank and यहाँ पे मैंने ऐसा एक छोटा सा होल क्रिएट किया. ठीक है. तो यहाँ से अब पानी बाहर निकल रहा है. ठीक है. अब अगेन कोई पूछ रहा है व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन फ्लूइड मैकेनिक्स एंड फ्लूइड डायनामिक्स. फ्लूइड मैकेनिक्स टेक्निकली पूरा चैप्टर का नाम है. फ्लूइड मैकेनिक्स पूरा चैप्टर का नाम है. हमने अब तक जो किया उसका प्रॉपर नाम फ्लूइड स्टैटिक्स है, where the fluid is stationary. और अब जो करेंगे इसका नाम है fluid dynamics. Okay, where we are talking about flowing fluid. Okay, got it? Being dynamic means being adaptable, going with the flow and then adjusting things. So fluid dynamics deals with flowing liquid, not stationary liquid, flowing liquid. ठीक है, ये डायग्राम में जो बना रहा हूँ वो कॉपी मत करो. बट माई सिंपल क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट इज द प्रेशर ओवर हियर. दिस इज एन ओपन टैंक. तो या ऊपर प्रेशर क्या है? PATM. वेरी नाइस. यहाँ पे नीचे प्रेशर क्या है? दिस इज एन ओपन होल. तो यहाँ पे भी प्रेशर PATM होगा. ओके, इट्स ओपन टू द एटमॉस्फेयर, सो प्रेशर हैज टू बी PATM. फिर ऐसा सवाल, हाँ मतलब फॉर एनी पॉइंट ओवर हियर, इंस्टेंट की बात नहीं है. विच एवर लिक्विड कम्स ओवर हियर, for that liquid at that instant pressure is going to be PATM because it's exposed to the atmosphere. यहाँ पे पर इधर थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम दिख रहा है. क्या है? इधर लग रहा है PATM plus rho GH होना चाहिए. So what should be correct? Should we say कि it should be PATM because it's exposed to the atmosphere, or should we say this is correct because we have learned pressure H distance below the top is PATM plus rho GH? Which of the two should be correct? PATM या PATM plus rho GH? So PATM plus rho GH is wrong. क्यों? ये हमने कब पढ़ा था? Statics के लिए पढ़ा था. Is this stationary fluid or is this flowing fluid? This is flowing fluid. Because this is flowing fluid, whatever we have learned now is not applicable over here. उतना मन में बिठा दो. This is flowing fluid. So don't try to apply PATM plus rho GH over here. Okay, this is flowing fluid. Got it? इसका actually pressure PATM होगा for the simple reason this is also open to the atmosphere. जैसा ये open to the atmosphere है, वैसे ये भी open to the atmosphere है, तो दोनों pressure PATM है. What are these two related by? What equation are they related by? We will see. But it's a new equation. It is not the same equation where pressure is PATM plus rho GH. It's a new equation. Okay? Static होता तो वो hole बंद अरे static होता तो वो खड्डा बंद होता. And if the hole is closed, then it would have been PATM plus rho GH. But the minute you open the hole, the pressure changes. Again, the liquid starts flowing and the pressure changes. Okay. Oh, come on, यार. ये मतलब ये बस मैं थोड़ा ट्रेलर दे रहा हूँ. You don't need to draw that. We'll see that in due time. It's just the trailer. All right. So fluid dynamics is the study of flowing fluid. Now, okay. So now we are going to talk about the type of flow. Okay. Ayush, that will come a little later, not exactly in this part, but in a related chapter. But it is connected to this part. It will come in a related chapter. Okay. So we're going to talk about steady flow or streamline flow. Steady flow or streamline flow. This is a bit of theory. Okay. So no, there's not a lot of whys and hows over here. This is just theory. You know? Just understand what this theory is saying. So people have observed liquid, and observing the liquid, they've seen that liquid seems to flow in two types. The first type is called as steady flow or streamline flow. Okay. So iske kuch pointers hai. I'm just going to give them quickly. So the first point is, what is this type of flow? So this is the type of flow. This is the type of flow when the velocity of the liquid is small. Okay. So at low speeds, you will see this kind of flow. This is like a peaceful kind of flow. It's not a turbulent flow. Peaceful flow. So this is a type of flow when the velocity of the liquid is small. When the velocity of the liquid is small. Okay. Then in this, let's understand this a little bit more. So when does it take place? When the velocity is small. How small, we'll understand in a different chapter. It has to be lesser than some specific number. वो एक दूसरे chapter में, viscosity वाले chapter में देखेंगे. But right now it has to be small for this flow to be steady. Now to understand more about the steady flow, this is one important point. In this, the velocity, in this the velocities of all particles passing through a point, all particles passing through a specific point is the same. The velocity of all particles passing through a specific point is the same. So let me just draw a diagram for an illustration. So imagine this is like a pipe through which our liquid is flowing. Okay? Imagine that this is point A, and imagine that that is point B. Okay, and we'll talk about B later. Filal, I'm just talking about point A. So the idea is कि if I see one particular particle in steady flow, क्या होता है? अगर मान लो यहाँ से एक particle pass हुआ और तुमने observe किया कि उस particle का speed 3 मीटर पर सेकेंड है, तो यहां से अब जो भी पार्टिकल पास होगा उनका स्पीड वो ही रहेगा, 3 मीटर पर सेकेंड ही होगा. ठीक है, सो understood. So right now this particle has a speed of 3 meters per second. Sometime later when another particle comes over here, that particle will also have the same velocity, same speed, same direction. उस कुछ टाइम बाद another particle comes over there, that will also have the same velocity. So velocities of every particle passing through a specific point is going to be the same. अगर एक particle का velocity 3 meters per second का है, तो बाकी का भी velocity 3 meters per second ही होगा. That is what we are seeing. Okay, that is what happens in steady flow. वापस बता रहा हूँ, अगर एक particle, ठीक है, I'll write that down in fact. If one particle passes or has a velocity, if one particle has a velocity of 3 meters per second, see, so if one particle has a velocity of 3 meters per second in that direction, when it reaches A, if one particle has a velocity of 3 meters per second when it reaches A, then all particles reaching A will have a velocity of 3 meters per second at A. तो अगर एक particle के पास ये velocity है, then all particles reaching A will have a velocity of 3 meters per second in that direction at A. We will have a velocity of 3 meters per second in that direction at A. Got it? So that's the idea. Now one of you saying, sir, same वैसे भी same होना ही चाहिए, क्यों ऐसा क्यों कि मतलब this is very obvious. मतलब this is true for a steady flow. We will see कि there's another kind of flow called as turbulent flow, जिसमें कुछ भी random होता है. ठीक है, जिसमें कुछ भी random होता है. Okay, don't worry, you didn't waste time with your doubt. ये मैं anyways लिखवाने वाला था. ठीक है, so turbulent flow is another kind of flow we'll study, जिसमें ऐसा predictability नहीं होता. That's just random. It's like a crowd running from a building which is on fire. कोई भी कुछ भी speed से कोई भी direction में दौड़ रहा है. That's turbulent flow. In steady flow, there is this pattern. You can always expect जो भी particle ये point से pass होगा उसका वही speed होगा. Okay, so that's one important point of steady flow. And then another important point is if one particle passes through A, if one particle passes through B after crossing A, if one particle passes through B after crossing A, all particles crossing A will pass through B. All particles crossing A will pass through B. Okay, so steady flow is like, है ना, when people follow the crowd, है ना, go with the flow. मतलब अगर एक लीडर ने A से पास होके बाद में जाके B से पास किया, सारे पार्टिकल्स जो A से पास होंगे आगे जाके B से पास करेंगे. Okay, so if one particle passes through B after passing through A, every other particle will pass through B after passing through A. Okay, that is steady flow. Okay, just a few points. उसको detail analysis कुछ नहीं करना है, ये बस you should understand, remember these points for steady flow. This is what we observe in steady flow. Okay, this is what we observe in steady flow. Any doubt or does it make sense? Makes sense, I think. Just a bunch of facts for you to remember. फिर here we have a term, won't the weight of the particle affect the weight of the particle जो भी है, but do you expect the weight to change with time? No, right? This is a liquid of uniform density. So weight का effect जो भी है वो already एक बार establish हो गया, उसके आगे जो flow है ना, we are calling that a steady flow and we are saying कि अब मतलब अगर एक particle A से पास होके B पास होता है तो बाकी हर particle A से पास होने के बाद B से वापस जरूर पास करेंगे. Okay? One does it, the others do it. It's like that, following the leader. One does it, others do it. That is steady flow या streamline flow. इसमें we have a term called as a streamline. Okay, so a streamline is the line of flow. The streamline is the line of flow. Now, what does line of flow mean? The line of flow means path. It means the path. Party means the path followed by a particle. Very simple stuff. It's a path followed by a particle. That's a line of flow. So streamline is the line of flow for steady flow. For steady flow. It's the line of flow for steady flow. Okay. So steady flow में जो भी path एक particle follow करेगा, जैसे particle, ये particle क्या path follow कर रहा है, ऐसा कुछ जा रहा है, मानो ए के बाद बी गया है ना, ऐसा कुछ path follow कर रहा है. So that path which it follows is called a streamline. The path it follows is called a streamline. Okay? The path it follows is called a streamline. इसमें in a streamline, as true for any object moving along any curve, you might have learned this. If an object moves along a curve, velocity is along the tangent to the curve. वही फंडा यहाँ पे भी है. The tangent to the streamline. Streamline is a curve followed by a particle. So the tangent to the streamline gives the direction of the velocity. The tangent to the streamline gives the direction of the velocity of all particles at that point. Direction of the velocity of all particles, I would say, passing through that point. It gives the direction of the velocity of all particles passing through that point. Okay, makes sense? यहाँ पे है ना. So if I say कि this is my streamline, at any point if I just draw a tangent, any point I draw a tangent, that's going to give me the velocity at that point. which you know for any curve as such. Na? Tangent to the curve followed by a particle gives you the direction of your velocity. Velocity is always tangential to the curve. So that's what this is trying to say. ठीक है? अब इसमें एक important फंडा ये होता है कि we say कि two streamlines can never intersect. Can you think why that is so? Two streamlines can never intersect. Very nice. Otherwise, there will be different paths. You know, just follow the leader. These are mindless particles. You know, a particle reaching that point of intersection cannot have a choice. वो एक ही लीडर को फॉलो करेगा, उसको दो लीडर के बीच में चॉइस नहीं रहेगा. So two streamlines can never intersect, else the velocity at the point of intersection, will have two different directions. As the velocity at the point of intersection will have two different directions. Okay? So two streamlines can never intersect, else the velocity at the point of intersection will have two different directions. Because very nice. So तुम ऐसा जैसा you can easily, you're all answering correctly, guys. By the way, you can just draw what the scene looks like if at all there was to be an intersection of streamlines. So it's going to look somewhat like this. If these two streamlines intersect, okay, then basically yes, Ayush, yes, that's exactly true. So if these two streamlines intersect, यहाँ पे इस point पे you're going to get two directions for velocity. है ना? You cannot have two different directions for velocity. Okay, the particle cannot both follow the green streamline and the yellow streamline. You can't have two different directions for your velocity. So therefore, streamlines cannot intersect. Okay, copy this page. I hope you have been copying all along. This is not possible. And then one last term we have before we'll see turbulent flow, and that is called as tube of flow. So the combination, okay, so the combination, ये बस term है, मतलब इसे जान दो, the combination of several lines of flow, flow makes up a tube of flow. You know, it's like if you put a lot of wires together, you'll get a tube. You know, put a lot of thin threads together, you'll get a rope, a thick rope. You'll get, like, put a lot of light rays together, you'll get a light beam. Very nice. वैसे the combination of several lines of flow makes up a tube of flow. ये बस एक technical term है ना? It looks somewhat like this. So it's going to be like a tube. Okay? It's made up of several lines of flow. बहुत सारे ऐसे है ना, parallel line, no line of flow is intersecting. तो टूथपेस्ट का डायग्राम जैसा दिख रहा है, many parallel lines of flow है ना, तो एक साथ तुम देख के tube of flow बोल सकते हो. कुछ करना नहीं है इसके साथ. I mean, just that's what this term means. It looks like a pipe, yes. So a pipe can also be a tube of flow. What is going inside the pipe The water going through a pipe can also be considered a tube of flow. ये बस एक term है, just if you ever see it, this is what it means. Nothing to be asked on that, but that's what it means. Okay, so please finish copying this. Two streamlines cannot intersect for the simple reason that when they intersect, this particular point is forced to have a velocity along this direction, is also forced to have a velocity along that direction. That is a contradiction. A point cannot have two different velocities, two different directions for its velocity. Samjha? Hence, they cannot intersect. Anyone wants me to wait, say wait. In a way, they'll be moving. I'll wait. In a way, they'll be kind of moving parallelly. So they'll more or less, in a way, move parallelly only. ये थोड़ा ऐसा है ना आर्टिस्टिक लुक के लिए मैंने ऐसा ड्रॉ किया, but otherwise they'll move. It depends on the shape of the pipe actually. Depends on the shape of the pipe. So what is it flowing through? Accordingly, it will है ना try to जैसे pipe अगर पतला होते जा रहा है तो the streamline will have to start to look like this. The distances will have to come closer. So it depends on the pipe. The pipe is going to take a turn, so you know, everyone's going to turn like that. Done? Okay. Yeah, थोड़ा और 5 मिनट और ले लेते हैं, ज़्यादा नहीं है, theory यही है. So just a quick definition for turbulent flow. Turbulent flow. I know यार थोड़ा 5 मिनट झेल लो ना. Turbulent flow, ठीक है, takes place. This takes place at high speeds. Yeah. Takes place at high speeds. Takes place at high speeds. Yeah, as I said, इसमें क्या है? This is like people running mad from in all sorts of directions. There is some fire or some rumor of a fire in the building, so everyone is just running in random directions. It's still flowing, but they're still going, trying to go out of the building, not into the building. Still some sense of direction, but it's very random. So therefore, we can say the velocities of different particles. See, this is the opposite of steady flow. So the velocities of different particles reaching the same point may be in this, they may be different and they may change randomly with time and may change randomly with time. That's it. Okay, the turbulent flow, as it is, we are not going to study turbulent flow. You just need to know the definition of turbulent flow. Turbulent flow and all comes when you go deeper into engineering. So in your engineering, maybe in your second year, third year, then you'll have study of turbulent flow. But steady flow is a lot more pleasing, a lot easier to work with. Turbulent flow में क्या है? Velocity of different particles. Remember A in the previous page. A पे एक theme के speed से दौड़ना तो सब follow the leader के type theme के speed से ही cross करेंगे. But that's not true for turbulent flow. Different particles reaching the same point may reach that point with different velocities. It may reach that point with different velocities, and those velocities also they'll change randomly with time. I mean, there's no pattern. there's no pattern to that change. कुछ भी अजीब अजीब speed से direction से वहाँ पे particles pass करेंगे. So what is the reason for the high entropy? I mean, I think you mean high randomness. It's just the high speeds, and it's like a chain reaction. You know, one molecule straying from its path based on probability drags other molecules from the surrounding region. So when the speeds are too high, when the speeds are slow, you know, come speed में a lot of people can jog one after the other, right? So I mean, even if you try moving in a random direction, बाजू वाले का है ना, बाजू वाला will in a way put you in your place. So when you're jogging, a lot of people can in a way, है ना, in a marathon, I mean, you can all maintain and move like one complete body. But if you're running in a frenzy, then you have the possibility to in a way change the structure. You have a possibility to move this guy out of place, and then it'll be like a chain reaction. This guy will move out of place and stuff like that. It's just randomness is, in fact, the question for why randomness is there is, as you learn later, that's a slightly incorrect question. A better question is why randomness is not there. Okay, so randomness inevitably appears. Steady flow mein why randomness is not there, it's because the flow is low, so surrounding liquids in a way, hai na, they kind of stabilize each particle's motion. So particle फिर randomly जाता नहीं है, बाजू वाला liquid in a way stabilizes its motion. But at higher speeds, it's expected कि है ना कुछ, it's like a state of confusion. So velocities as such random होगा, randomly change होते जाएगा. Okay. Could rocket propulsion be an example? Yeah, I mean that's high speeds. You're throwing out gases at high speed, so that will be turbulent. Okay, maybe we can stop here. I think so. This is just the introduction. There are two simple equations in this section of fluid dynamics. In the next class, we'll see those equations and we'll proceed from there. You just need to know the basic depth. Turbulent flow, anyways, उसका study है ही नहीं तुम्हारे JEE physics में. Okay? Turbulent force नहीं है, turbulent flow है. Turbulent flow का simple idea है कि it's like people, as I said, imagine the building is on fire. So how are people going to run? Are they going to run in a very ordered way, one following the other? No, right? They're going to run in a completely random way. So if I say कि जैसे पिछले केस में हमने बोला कि अगर एक पार्टिकल यहाँ पे 3 के स्पीड से क्रॉस करेगा तो बाकी पार्टिकल्स भी 3 के स्पीड से ही क्रॉस करेगा. दैट इज नॉट ट्रू फॉर टर्बुलेंट फ्लो. टर्बुलेंट फ्लो टेक्स प्लेस इन हाई स्पीड्स. एक 3 से क्रॉस किया, एक 6 से क्रॉस किया, दूसरा फिर 2 के स्पीड से. इट्स रैंडम. ठीक है, देयर इज नो प्रेडिक्टेबिलिटी, देयर इज नो repetition as such. Gaurav, you can imagine that, but if you're saying ki properties of static fluids, the equations are going to be different. So I don't know what you're trying to extend. Yes, you can imagine a fluid flowing through a pipe always, but it's not going to have the same equations as we saw for fluid statics. Okay. Any doubts? किसी को पूछना था? Flow of particles under particle accelerator. वो liquid नहीं हुआ और yeah, those who want to leave can leave. वो liquid नहीं है. I mean, ठीक है. I mean, see on some level how you're comparing it, but I wouldn't make too much of that. Okay? Yeah, good night. Can I discuss strategy for writing the paper? Yeah, I mean, paper writing strategy has a lot of aspects to it. Yeah, you can say in a way. Okay, paper writing strategy is a lot of aspects to it. Tomorrow we are going to discuss HCV doubts. मैंने जो 1 to 20 दिया है, we can discuss that. और अगर थोड़ा हीट एंड थर्मो का तुम्हें बुकलेट से कुछ पूछना है, we can discuss that as well. HCV का पहले HCV एक तो देख लो वीडियो सोल्यूशन, देख के आओ प्लीज. If you can clarify your doubt with the videos, please do that. And on top of the video, मतलब फिर भी I think there are good questions in the HCV. तो फिर भी if you have doubts, we'll of course clarify that in the doubt session. थोड़ा हीट थर्मो भी देख सकते हैं. Yeah, bye, good night. पेपर का जो पूछ रहे हैं, yeah, strategy has a lot of aspects to it. You'll need to, yeah, Gaurav, if time permits, yes. Okay. So you'll need to do this कि तुम्हें firstly, like, you'll have to have some backup plan as to how you're going to attempt the paper. Okay. And I mean, it's best to always have a plan, and should you get nervous, have a kind of backup, right? Should the paper you start with be very difficult, then you should have a backup. So this is something you have to figure out. Okay, like during my time, me and my friends, we followed this pattern. In fact, the pattern we followed was, we know कि chemistry saves a lot of time, but then we know कि if I start with chemistry, you may have noticed कि the starting speed is the slowest because you're always so cautious. मतलब जो चीज आधा घंटा में होगा, जो चीज आधा घंटा में हो सकता है, उसको भी हम खींच के स्टार्टिंग में 1 hour तक खींच सकते हैं, है ना? So therefore we never started with chemistry, although chemistry was comfortable for us, but we never started with it because we want to save time in chemistry and the speed in the beginning is slow. So then for us, between physics and maths, we always picked physics because in general you'll find कि with time you'll see कि maths is actually the toughest subject, जहाँ पे मतलब गंदा से गंदा सवाल बना सकता है पेपर में. Physics still is a little bit more logical, more direct thinking, so we would start with physics. Our strategy, you need to think of these things. So our strategy was, we wanted to ideally spend 1 hour physics, half hour chem, 1 hour maths, and then keep half an hour for remaining whatever is left out. You know, to enforce this, now strategy is one thing. To enforce this, during the last months, we gave a lot of papers where what we did was we took only physics, chemistry, and we put maths aside. We gave only the physics, chemistry part of papers, and we allowed ourselves only 1.5 hours. And we calculated our score only on the basis of that. 1.5 hours में कितना score करो physics, chemistry में. बाद में जो सारे maths papers थे, we took them separately. Maths is weak for us, so we focused on that separately. And maths, again, we just gave 1 hour, and we saw कि 1 hour के अंदर कितना practice कर सकते हैं. So when you give yourself that kind of time crunch, you'll find you'll be practicing how to handle stress, you'll be practicing how to handle limited time, you'll be practicing every time you give a trial paper with this kind of time crunch, you will be practicing making good decisions. In 1.5 hours, can I always attempt every possible question? Physics chem, no. So I'll have to have a look, I'll have to see what I'm comfortable with. Okay, if sometimes there is just that feeling कि I feel I'm good at mechanics, है ना? So सवाल दिख गया, जैसे ही if I look at some questions, I see 8 questions on the first page, I'll solve the mechanics questions. Even though बाकी chapter के भी होते हैं, there are some which we feel more confident of. It may be different for you. Okay, तो mechanics दिख गया, waves दिख गया, पहले वो कर लेते हैं. So those first few questions, in a way, it sets the ball rolling. Okay, and ये मतलब ऐसे बहुत सारे tests देते we develop a habit of subconsciously making right decisions. In the exam, you can't go with a fixed thing कि मैं mechanics का ही पहले करूँगा, बहुत ही tough सवाल आया mechanics, then you'll be stranded. You'll have to be dynamic, you'll have to be adaptable. But if you give a lot of practice tests, you will subconsciously develop the habit of making good decisions. Okay, so one is strategy, like how do you want to give your paper? What are your strengths? You'll have to think and imagine, find out what your strengths are. Okay, and the second thing is, based on the strengths, how are you going to develop that? So you can see, I mean, like this is a pattern I would follow, and how I develop that by, yes, Aman. We should be in turbulent flow. We should be dynamic while solving this questions. Be ready to adapt, but have a base strategy and practice with that strategy. So if you can see, what have I done? Almost all my papers, I always practice giving it in 2.5 hours instead of 3 hours. And you'll be surprised, with practice, you can really improve your efficiency. And my JEE exam, our JEE exam was ultimately like that. We actually solved our physics in 1 hour. Exact half an hour may be changed. Stick to your plan. You have had 1 hour to score as much as you can in your physics. When the 1 hour mark is over, just maybe finish the question you're doing and then switch to chem. Imagine time is up, switch to chem. Chem half an hour kar lo. Abhi तुम्हें अभी लग रहा होगा कि कैसे करें half an hour, because you have more of physical, but once you have equal physical, organic and inorganic in your chem paper, then organic and inorganic does not take time. So chem is possible to be done in half an hour. In JEE I had done in 20 minutes. So ये आधा घंटा में करना possible है. ठीक है? And yeah, so that's the idea. Now you're asking, should we have time constraints while doing self-study at home? So the answer is, firstly, you should not put time constraints if you're learning a new chapter. So right now, if you're doing fluid mechanics at home, usme time constraint mat kar lo. There's a time to study and understand the chapter, and there's a time to work on your examination skills. First, understand the chapter. First, understand the subject. While understanding the subject, as I told someone today, तुम कोई भी क्वेश्चन 5 minutes दे दो या 10 minutes दे दो, 5-10 minutes में आ नहीं रहा है मतलब तुम्हें आता नहीं है ना, unless it's maths where you have to think of different approaches and then देखना कि बाइला का आंसर आता है नहीं. At least physics में, if you don't know where to proceed in 5 minutes, you most probably have either not understood the question or you don't know the basic concept. That's how it is, at least in physics and chemistry. So in 5 to 10 minutes, if you don't get anything, don't sit slogging, look at the solution, spend how much time you want understanding that solution. And once you have understood that solution, even if you want to spend half an hour understanding that, pondering on that, ye aisa hoga, wo aisa hoga, to kya hota tha, ye, don't put a time constraint and avoid those thoughts. When you're understanding and exploring the subject, ask yourself questions. ये अगर ये नहीं रहता तो वो रहता तो क्या करना पड़ता? Think of all of that. You're studying the chapter, think of all of that. It'll all be useful. You will find कि आगे के questions में, you may start to be able to do some because you've invested time understanding the previous questions. Okay, so while studying, ऐसा time constraint मत डालो, but ये नहीं कि तुमने HCV करने बैठे और तुम 3 क्वेश्चन में 1 घंटा तुमने स्पेंड किया, सॉल्व हुआ ही नहीं. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. Some students do that, है ना. Don't ego मत रखो. सॉल्व नहीं हुआ मतलब आता नहीं है. Accept that you don't know and try to see the solution and learn from that. That is a study phase. There will be a revision phase. Like let's say now abhi ki MT is coming up, so at some stage you want to revise heat and thermodynamics, or you want to revise circular motion. So what you can do is you can create a test for yourself. Either go to your booklet and pick 30 questions. Just pick 30 questions or 25 questions depending on the level, and then you create that mixed bag of questions. उसके लिए time डाल दो, 1 hour का paper की तरह treat करके. So जो भी revision की तरह जो तुम कर रहे हो, give them as a test. But if you're giving them as a test, make sure you analyze the test after giving it. तो पहले तो 25 questions में जितना गलत आया सब सीखो. And trust me, if you solve questions in a test way, there is a story attached to it. जो भी गलत किया, most likely you will remember those mistakes all the way till your JEE as well. Give it as a test, study the solutions, you will remember those mistakes because there is a story behind it. It's not now a random question in the book. It's a question you tried, got wrong, cross-check the answer, अंडरस्टूड व्हाई यू डिड इट रॉन्ग. जितना एनालाइज करोगे उतना तुम है ना कंसेप्ट याद करोगे. एंड द लास्ट थिंग इज, हाँ, तो एक तो तुम वो एनालाइज करो कि गलत क्या किया, दूसरा तुम एनालाइज कर लो, ट्राई टू सी इफ देयर वाज एनी स्ट्रेटजी मिस्टेक. हर छोटे टेस्ट में वो छोटा एनालिसिस करो. डिड आई मेक सम फूलिश डिसीजंस? Did I make some wise decisions? Did I stay stuck on one question for too long? Did I just go in serial order? ऐसा नहीं होता कि टेस्ट में तुम हर चीज सीरियल ऑर्डर में नहीं करते हो ना. So even in this 25 hour test, you don't need to in a serial order. You see what is giving you confidence. क्या जो चुन चुन के मारो. That's what people say, है ना. Choose the right answers and choose the right questions and attempt them first. See what works for you and attempt them first. So try to analyze all this. That's it. I mean, there's no theory for giving papers, but the more you think, the more you analyze, you'll figure out your own secrets, what works for you. थोड़ा टाइम क्रंच के साथ घर में करो. अगर तुम्हें लगता है एग्जाम में 3 hours बहुत कम है, तो घर का, if you give a mock test at home, give it lesser time and demarcate the differences. Sometimes students get lost in one subject. वो नहीं होना चाहिए. Demarcate a difference. ये मुझे मान लो 1 hour के बाद चेंज करना ही है, केमिस्ट्री 40 minutes के बाद चेंज करना ही है, मैथ्स 1 hour के बाद चेंज करना ही है. सेव टाइम ऑन केमिस्ट्री, वर्क ऑन दैट एंड सेव टाइम ऑन केमिस्ट्री. ओके, चलो बाय. वेलकम, बाय, गुड नाइट.